Councilor Ali, Mayor Strimling, Councilors, my name is James Mosher. I'm an American. I'm a Maine resident. First, either citizenship means something or it does not. There were roughly 146 countries at the time the Patriots composed the U.S. Constitution. Notice in the preamble the opening phrase, "We the people of the United States." Why did they exclude all the other countries? Were they bigots? The Constitution was written to be the law of the land for Americans, not the citizens of the world. Second, according to FAIR, Maine has roughly 5,000 illegals residing in the shadows at a cost of $47 million to Maine taxpayers. Given the City of Portland's Harboring Havens Ordinance, which forbids law enforcement from inquiring about immigration status, how will you ensure that illegals will not be voting in municipal elections? Third, given the overwhelming burden already carried by Maine taxpayers for subsidized housing, academic costs, costs of living such as TANF, Medicaid, food stamps, etc., not to mention welfare fraud, as seen recently here in Portland with Ali.com and its Aram Halal market, a cost of millions to Maine taxpayers. Many of us would argue that the taxpayer is already on the hook for much of the progressive policies coming out of Portland. So when the argument is made that migrant residents pay taxes and therefore should have a vote, what about the non-resident citizens in other cities and towns in Maine who are paying for most of what this body has enabled? Who is receiving worse treatment here in Maine? The taxpayer who struggles to carve out an existence for self and family, or the immigrant who qualifies for the busload of pennies? Fourth, given the data available revealing a seismic demographic shift and the impact of progressive policies on cities like Hamtramck, Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, Hazleton, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Lewiston, Maine, Portland, Maine, it's clear to see that there's a ploy to subvert entire populations of people. I haven't even touched on the ideological cost, but suffice it to say, progressive policies have enabled our enemy to exploit the system. Maine has fostered 2 terrorists who took advantage of the welfare hammock and went on to fight for ISIS. In 2008, the United States versus the Holy Land Foundation lawsuit yielded some valuable information regarding the Muslim Brotherhood and their plan for civilization jihad. The Muslim Brotherhood's strategy for North American conquest involves mass immigration, taking advantage of welfare, infiltrating government offices. Councilor Ali, I got about 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
And when strong enough, infiltrating government offices, and when strong enough, subverting them. Their ultimate goal is governance by Sharia. Is it possible, given what the FBI has told about terror cells operating in every state, and knowing what we know about the Muslim Brotherhood's quest for civilization jihad, that your vote tonight might be aiding and abetting terrorists? And one more thing. Progressives point to roughly 13 cities and towns that already allow non-citizen voting to buttress their arguments. Would it surprise you to know that all these cities and towns turned out sizable majorities for Hillary Clinton? Here in Portland, Clinton garnered 76% of the votes. Facts are stubborn things. The data clearly indicates that wherever tried, non-citizen voting serves to cement democratic victory.
James, you want to please wrap up?
Yes, sir. Anybody doubt me? I'll send you the links.